So my box is going to need some kind of handle to go on the lid to assist in opening it. And so what I've done is I've taken a piece of maple, and I think this will look nice because it will match the splines that are on the box. I've taken this maple and I've milled it down to the exact thickness as the lid. I'm going to go ahead and draw a shape on here, whatever I think. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it. I'm going to draw something on here that I think will look good, and then I'm going to cut that out at the bandsaw and glue it on the lid. Now that my handle's glued in place, this lid will no longer fit into this recess because there's material right here that is in the way of the handle. So I'm gonna have to get some layout tools. I'm gonna have to mark where this handle is, and then I need to clear out that material. I'm gonna mark each side of this handle. Then I'm going to take my square and I'm going to set it for the depth of this inside lip, because we don't want to go deeper than that lip. We want to be nice and even with it. Let's try this. Next thing I'm going to take this wheel gauge and I'm going to set it at that depth. Lock it in place. And I'm going to use it to scribe a line on the outside. Alright, so that should represent exactly how much material we need to remove. I'm going to lock it in place on the bench. I'm going to use my crosscut saw, and I'm going to go ahead and cut 2 curves on the outer edge of this. And then I'm going to do a series of relief cuts across it. that I got most of that material out, I'm going to use kind of a paring action and just keep working this until we get it everything nice and flush. Well, this turned out pretty good. The lid fits, and the only issue really is these corners right here are a little bit tight. I'm going to take some sandpaper and I'm just going to ease those edges a little bit, just to allow that to drop in place a little bit better. I'm going to drill a hole on both sides of my box. I'm going to go through the side of the box and into the lid material, and I'm going to use this 1/8 inch bronze rod material that I picked up at the local hardware store, and that's how I'm going to create my pinned hinge. I glued these pins in place using epoxy, and then I let that set up overnight, and so they are good and dry, and the lid opens nicely, and I'm ready to take this to the bench and start sculpting it. I've got my box secured onto my workbench, and I've got an angle grinder with a sanding disc installed, and this is going to give me a fairly aggressive cut. But I'm going to go between the angle grinder and my ROS sander, and I'm just going to slowly shape this. Now I've got to keep in mind that the material for this box is thinner than I originally wanted it to be, so I can't get too aggressive. So I'm gonna start with the top, and I'm going to shape that, and then I'll move on to the sides. And I'm gonna use a pin, and I'm going to kind of draw some lines on this box just to kind of give me some guidance. I'm going to look at it and kind of visualize how I think the box should be shaped, and then kind of follow that. Now this is a fairly long process, and I'm just going to jump into it and get after it. That concludes part 3 of this series. All we have left to do now is to apply a finish to this, and we'll do that next time. In the meantime, be sure to subscribe to my channel for future content, and we will see you next time.